All right. Well, I'm excited. I'm going to read something so that I can stay on task. So I'm going to read my little intro, and then we're just going to like dive straight in. So I've got some questions for Mikaela. One of the things that, as you guys, I want to make sure that you know whenever I do these is I'm really trying to dig questions that are going to bring executable action steps. So as I think some of you have been on for either General Farragher, Matt Brown, Terrell Carter. We were going to have Tom Ryan, but we're shifting him back to November. So I figured let's just go ahead and hit Mikaela while we're here. And my whole goal for this, guys, is not, my goal is not, as you guys know, to not just hear myself talk. I want to ask questions and I want to pull content out of people that I believe are really crushing it in their respective area. So Mikaela, so let me just give you a quick little intro. Some of you know her fairly well. And her husband actually had a huge, like a $600,000 deal. He's like, babe, I'm so sorry, I won't be able to be on. So he won't even be on, but he wants to listen to the recording. And my wife is on, but she won't have her camera on, so she's excited to hear this. But let me read this so that I can stay on point, and then we'll dive into questions. So we are, today we got a special guest who embodies the perfect blend of entrepreneurial success and personal fulfillment. I'm thrilled to introduce my daughter, Mikaela, who's a dynamic businesswoman. She owns and operates 3 thriving businesses, a successful facial spa in Uptown Westerville, a makeup and hair service for weddings and formal events where she will either see folks at her spa or she'll go to the venue. And then she also has a wedding venue, not for the wedding, but for the brides and the ladies to all get ready. And that is another part of her space, but it's a separate entity where she charges $500-600 a day, and people can come in and get ready, and the ladies can have their own special time. And that's all been, I think you've now had 3 for what, 2.5 years, if I remember correctly, right? But you opened the spa 3.5 years ago.
Yes, it'll be 4 years in February for the second business, and it'll be 2 years in January for the third. So
I think what's really cool about that, because we've been talking about like balance and so forth, but not only is she excelling in her professional life, but she's also maintaining a balanced lifestyle by working out very regularly between working out and practicing yoga. She's also eats really, really healthy most of the time, I would say. I don't know what we're going to do tonight.
Yeah, the rest of the time, anything goes.
Right. But she finds time to travel every 90 days, and actually her next one was scheduled for a month from now, which is where?
Costa Rica.
So Costa Rica with Kev.
Yep.
And then she heard about this opportunity because Connie wanted to stay at home because she knew her Reds were going to make the playoffs, and they did backdoor their way in, but they got swept. But Mikaela threw her hand up and said, "Okay, Dad, I'll go." So every 2 to 3 months, she's heading out on a trip. But she's dedicating quality time to her clients who absolutely love her. I think she's at 135-star reviews. If you want to look up Radiate Studio, by the way, Pete, if you want to look that up and throw it in, it's insane that she is doing that well. We actually were looking at a competitor first that started before her, and she's blown past her, but she's not looking to do it to anybody's demise. She's just trying to win for herself and her team. But despite her busy schedule, she dedicates for that quality time to her clients, her family, her fur babies, and her husband. Today, she's going to share some insights and actionable strategies that have helped her achieve this remarkable balance. These insights will be invaluable for our mastermind attendees who are, as we know, we've got business owners, we've got business-to-business salespeople, and others that are just looking to enhance their own lives and businesses. So let's dive in and learn from her journey. So, Mikaela, first of all, I'm going to look down on this one, but I would love to just dive in. How did you first get in? Maybe share, what was the first business that you started running on your own?
So I started as a freelance artist doing hair and makeup for, actually I was a lady's personal assistant for 5 years. If anybody knows about One Church, Shaylin Ford, I worked alongside her for a very long time. So I had started very young doing my stage makeup for competitive cheerleading and dancing, and I really just enjoyed it and had a natural affinity towards that beauty industry. And so I was in Fisher College of Business at Ohio State, absolutely hating my life, And she was like, hey, do you want to get paid to do hair and makeup and make people feel pretty? And I was like, absolutely. So I loved that. Then I started being a freelance artist for, there was some overlap there, but about 3 years before I decided to build my own team and essentially learned everything that I would and would not do if I had my own team. And then it started with just me, myself, and I. Then I found another, and we were a total power team, but we could really only tackle just makeup because we're, only 2 people and there's typically large parties. So then we decided to expand our business further and hire on some hair artists. And I now have 8 girls on that team of hair and makeup. And then we just opened that getting ready suite.
Okay. So the hair and makeup business, and by the way, some of these questions, I hardly ever get time with her. I'm super pumped, guys. She never has time for her dad. And she makes time for everybody else.
Gosh.
I'm putting her on blast. So 8 gals. So you have about how many weddings, which are typically going to be on a Friday or Saturday, about how many weddings a year? Like what did you do approximately?
Okay. So ask
1
my
to 2 a
CFO
week?
because I know nothing.
1
I
to
think
2 a
like
weekend?
70. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be about 1 to 2 per weekend.
Yeah.
At least 1 a weekend. Every now and then you have a weekend off.
And then 3 or whatever.
Okay.
Now I'm down to only working about 20 weddings a year. But it was because now I send my team out, but it was a lot more for a long while before that.
So there are some weddings that are occurring that you're making money and you're in Tuscany
Like this weekend.
or Curacao or
Which is a huge win, yes.
Jamaica, or next month when you go to, where's it, Costa Rica? Okay,
Can't
so,
stop, won't stop.
all right, so you guys, some of the strategies we're gonna pick out of this is, can we be making money when we're not doing the work? So that's one thing. What would be some of the strategies if you were just gonna say about, let's use the facial spa. So 3.5 years ago in February or before, what have been, when you were looking to start that, what were like some of the key strategies that you said, this is the way I'm going to build a business that takes care of mostly women? I know it's some guys, but what were some of those key strategies that were important to you?
Yeah, there was a lot that went into that. I think as a consumer, I was very dissatisfied with the beauty industry. I felt like it was very catty. From an employee side, and then I felt like from a consumer side that I was either headed into a facility and I was leaving, with my skin looking amazing, but it wasn't relaxing at all, or I felt very relaxed, but it was like, thanks for washing my face for me. So I decided to combine both relaxation and correction and open up a space where ladies and gentlemen could come in and just completely unwind, relax, and still leave looking amazing. So our luxury facial experiences are anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours long, whereas the spa that I started at when I first became an esthetician, which was after I had the hair and makeup business, I wanted to further my career in hair and makeup by getting licensed, and then ended up falling in love with skincare. So that's how I pivoted there. And now I work with my brides leading up to the wedding on their skin, brows, and lashes. We kind of merge it all. But I essentially wanted to curate an environment that people could just come in and feel like they were at home, but also feel like they were somewhere really upscale, and just let them know how loved and how special they are. I named it Radiate because a lot of my family members have always said that I'm like the sun. I love to shine bright and spread my light. And so I wanted people to leave feeling my love, but also feeling so beautiful. So that was a big part of my strategy, was knowing how I wanted to make people feel. That was like the most important thing. The next most important thing was making sure that my clients knew how much it meant to me that they spread the word. If they loved me, if they were loyal to my business, please tell people leave me a review, because there's nothing more valuable than somebody coming to you already having trust in you because of something they've seen or heard from somebody else. Huge thing for me was offering my services to people that I knew were going to put me on for a discounted rate. So I reached out to wedding photographers, planners, other hairstylists, and I had them in for a pretty good discounted rate so that they would go back and tell their entire, clientele. about me, people who were non-competitors, but very much in the industry. So networking in a way, but also adding in those discounts and, just spoiling them, knocking their socks off and making sure that I'm always going to be the name that's in their mouth when somebody asks for that recommendation.
Okay, so that was a lot, but in such an amazing way. And I'm not saying that's because she's my daughter. She takes after her mom. But I literally heard, for those that have been on for a while, I heard market dominating position. She was blue ocean strategy instead of red ocean strategy. She was separating herself, making herself unique and different.
Fulfilling a need.
Yeah.
You taught me that, actually.
Okay, that's great to hear. I love it when I say cool things. Compelling offer, like it sounds like your folks once they hear what you have the ability to do for them, and then they experience it, they want to tell others about it. Joint ventures. I teach on joint ventures all the time. I did that at Rev. I did it at Tom James. I do it with my coaching business. So that's an amazing idea to give discounts and get folks in that are up and down the wedding chain, somewhere along the line that they're going to want to refer you. So
yeah,
so awesome. I'm so excited. That is so cool. So let's talk about, how do you maintain high quality service? So as I mentioned, 130 or so 5-star reviews. How do you maintain that high quality service across your makeup and your hair service when it is growing, it's escalating, and you're getting other people involved to then deliver the product that you've wanted in service, that you've had your hands on the whole time, and you've been able to control that growth? And now you've got 8 gals on the hair and makeup, you've got 2-3 gals, you got a couple assistants. That was a lot too, but my question was, but did you get the question? There's like 3 in there.
Yeah. Yeah. So
You speak RJ, so you're able to follow.
That's your little cheat sheet here. Yeah.
Maintain high quality
High quality
service.
service. So
When it's escalating,
okay, most importantly, it's easy because I do what I love. If you don't love your job, get a new job. It's very, very, very easy to show up and give high quality services because I absolutely love being there. I feel kind of spoiled though, because I know there's a lot of people that have jobs where it's like it's paying the bills and it's what they do and it's their industry and they don't want to switch right now. But that's a big part of it for me, is that I really, really, really love what I do. Like, I seriously walk into work and I look around and I smile and I'm like, is this really my life right now? And so I feel like that has definitely contributed to the success. And then also hiring people that are trainable and have heart. Because if you have heart and you are trainable, everything else can be taught, but you can't teach them having that innate drive and wanting to be there and showing up. So there are plenty of people that have come onto my team that I have, politely let go because they weren't in it the way that I am. And so I want to know that even when I'm not there, my business is operating at a level that's so high that they're still going to feel our heart, our love, our passion. And lastly is continuous education. I feel like you can always get better and always learn more. So I've made it a point to not become stagnant in my industry. I love investing in masterclasses. I love to go, I don't even do hair anymore. I still go to hair masterclasses so that if my girls come to me and they have a question, I can provide that answer. I stay up with the trends. I do research, and then I test out and try out products and techniques on myself and my employees before introducing that to my clientele.
So good. I think one of the things that it's been on my mind the whole time, and I really want to get to it, because it's like you have been masterful at the upsell and the cross sell and the bundling. And I want to go back to, tell them what your first job was. This is just a side note, but
I sold 272 items with the principal on Petland and won a $300 Visa gift card at 15 years old.
Say that one more time.
I added 272 items onto a French bulldog.
Wait, $272 or 272
items?
272. You worked where? Give me context.
Petland.
Worked at Petland, 15 years old. She upsold 272 items to one family. And that's not like counting the kibbles.
No, not counting the kibbles. Counting the studded leashes and.
Yeah.
The
And
nail clippers and the stopper if it bleeds. And I mean,
has
literally
anybody ever heard
everything.
of Petland? She was like #1.
Don't go to Petland. We don't support Petland here. But they were in cages, okay? I was just getting them home.
Okay, so let's talk about like the upsell and
You
the
find
cross.
a need. You
Yeah.
find a need. Once again, like I'm not selling things to people that they don't need. And honestly, some ladies, they may not need 30 steps in their skincare routine, but they want 30 steps in their skincare routine. So you need to pick them out and you need to know who you're talking to. And that's how you frame it. So if it's somebody who is very budget conscious, I like to sell them packages. You're going to get a discounted deal if you buy this all at once. I'm still getting a larger sale. If it's somebody who likes to spend, I'm adding items on. I take notes, always take notes, because I'll send them home with samples of an eye cream, and I'll make a note if they didn't want to buy it, and I'll say, how did you like that? And it's all in the follow-up, and it's all in remembering who you're talking to. That's really huge. And getting your clients to trust you. I like to take personal notes too. Hey, how did your daughter's graduation go, or whatever? Now they come to the counter and I'm more than just an esthetician, I'm their friend. And so they trust me, and then I can sell them something that I truly do believe that they need.
Okay, I want to pause real quick because I've got some follow-up questions on that. If you have any questions, if anybody wants to hop off real quick and just interject a quick question, or throw it in the chat, and then just Pete, let us know if we've got one coming in because we can't see it. Anybody got one real quick? Because I actually believe, I know we got a bunch of dudes. There's like 3 ladies on, so our gals that are listening in probably know these services and everything probably much more than the guys. But I still think this is applicable. Like, are you guys? Can I get a head nod or a hand? Like, are you applying this to your business, what you sell, or your sales business, what you sell? And if so, anybody have any quick follow-up questions or comment? And if not, just if you don't want to talk, you can throw it in the chat too. All right, so you started, let's just talk about like makeup. You started at how much a face is what they call it, a face. How much did you start at? Like 75?
I think Shaylin paid me like $30 per person I assisted, and then I was 75 a face.
Okay, so 75 a face that she made $30 a face on when she started. And then what was your price increase from 75 retail? What did you then move to?
I was kind of like, there wasn't much strategy.
I thought you went to 100, 95.
Oh, you mean what number? I didn't know if you meant like percentage or like.
No, dollar amount.
Oh yeah, it was like 75, 100, 115, 125, 140. I'm at 150 flat, and then 500 for the bride, just for makeup.
Yeah. So that's in the last 3-4 years, you doubled.
We have a $3,500 minimum to book us now. And I used to come home with like $300, $400, and I'd be super excited.
Yeah.
Now I come home on a Saturday with about 1,600, and I did about 4 people, and my team did everyone else.
Okay, so that's something I think any of you that know me and know the way that I've tried to sell is like, how can you maximize, again, always thinking of them first, doing what's right for them, getting the right kind of clients that are going to help you get to the lifestyle that you want. Now, in the beginning, you didn't start there. You grinded it out and you did the work and you proved yourself. But I remember you looking at me going, Dad, I literally have taught myself this over YouTube. I can't charge $100 a face, Dad.
Imposter syndrome is so real for so long.
Okay,
so if you're new at something, just
get
over it and keep trying.
Okay.
I mean, I literally walked in, you guys, I looked homeless. This bag of makeup was, I swear to you, from Five Below. Low-key falling apart too. And I remember that Shaylin sent me on my own and told me that I was going to be doing the bride. And when I walked in the room, the bride was like, "You're not Shaylin." And Shaylin's like famous for doing makeup. And I was shaking in my boots, and I like cried the whole way. I was like, I suck at my job. Everyone hates me. That happened for so many years. I still, like, yesterday I was on the plane looking at makeup like, I need to be better. I need to be better. I need to be better. So
it's real.
The imposter syndrome.
And so you're saying it still hits you
all the time, even though I know I'm fantastic. But no, it really is real. Yeah. So there's going to be times where you question yourself. But that's just where continuous education comes in, because the more that you continue to educate yourself and shine light on the areas where you are actually able to improve, I think that shows great strength.
What have you found from people that will spend more with you as opposed to the ones that were nickel and diming you? Are you also shifting yourself into a different level of clientele that is in many cases more professional and more fun to work with?
So that's a
I mean, I
really
know you can have the
interesting question.
bridezilla
That's an
situation.
interesting question in my industry.
Yeah, bridezilla, right?
Yeah, okay. Could be. I was always so afraid that if I was considered a luxury brand, that I was going to be promoting luxury brides. But instead, now I market towards the girl who doesn't know, and she just wants someone she can trust, and someone that's going to be her hype girl, and someone that's going to make her feel beautiful, and she doesn't matter what that costs. So my like bread and butter client is that girl that's like, hey, like I actually have no idea what I'm doing, and I really like your work, and I really like your vibe. You're gonna make me feel comfortable on the big day. I don't care what you cost. Like I'm paying.
Yeah.
I've literally had brides pay my minimum
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
Because they wanted me that bad. So I don't think it's exactly about. It's not always about. Of course, it's about what you're providing, but it's about who you're providing it to and why. It always comes back to the why, and for me, that was making people feel beautiful. Like that was my purpose. And so the money just followed that.
Oof. Good. I remember in the custom clothing days, the guys, literally, the guys that were the fashion plates, people would say, oh, I got a referral for you. This guy loves to dress like $1 million. Like that was actually not my best guy.
I can sniff a bridezilla out on the phone call, and I'm like, we're busy.
And you used to cut those swatches out from those fabrics and glue them to the cards. And my best guys were guys that made a decent nickel. They were either a tougher fit or their wife was on them, but they just needed somebody they could trust and all that. Same way when I was selling digital marketing, it was guys that they made a decent nickel. They didn't know a lot about digital marketing, but they felt like they knew, liked, and trusted me.
Mm-hmm.
And through my confidence, they chose to say, I'm going to trust this guy until he gives me a reason not to. And I'm seeing that in the coaching world too. Okay, sweet. Let's shift gears because personal productivity. And by the way, if we've got any questions, guys, again, throw them in the chat or Pete interrupt if we do. But I want to talk personal productivity and balance. So I know there's times like Alex Formazi would say, I'm pulling a triple this day and I'm working 17 hours and I love it, and everybody else can do whatever they want because, you know, to me, balance is I'm doing what I love and I do it with I think he's either, I don't know if he's married or engaged or whatever, but with such a busy schedule, how are you prioritizing your time between your business, your family, your pets, your personal well-being, eating right, yoga, working out, meeting mommy at Orange Theory, like going to meet the grandparents? Like, how do you do that? A lot of people have excuses of why they can't, and I have too in my life.
I'm a yes girl. I wish I could say like, oh, I perfectly strategically calendar everything, and I don't even look at it. If I get an invitation, I'm there. Unless I know that my body needs rest, I will say no. That's very new. I have spent so many years burning myself out, but I am the girl that will get up at 6 a.m. and do a full face of makeup because I know that I'm going line dancing when I get off of my 11-hour shift. So I pack my boots in the car and I'm ready to go. So I think that a lot of it for me is just showing up because I would really like to have that memory. I believe that life is meant to be lived.
You're very, very experiential. What's on your foot? What's your tattoo say on your foot?
To love is to live. But my newest one I got actually for Italy, and it's Vivi la Attimo, which means embrace the now.
Is that Italian?
Yeah, I got it for Italy. All my tattoos are from places I've traveled, but I got this one. It's just
what is it?
Vivi la Attimo. Dad, you saw this and you told me it looked like Visa MasterCard.
It did, but I didn't know what it meant.
It doesn't.
All right.
So yeah, I think that for balance, I have my non-negotiables, which if I'm not putting healthy food in my body and exercise in my system, I'm unwell. I try to sleep pretty well, and I have like quirky little things that I do. Like I have like a water reset shower I do every night. I put like my mood lighting on. I throw essential oils at the wall, and it takes like 3 minutes, but it helps me separate the day. That brings me peace. I don't know like what brings you guys peace. For my husband, it's playing his card game. He plays Magic the Gathering, super nerdy. He's really good at it. If anyone knows what that is. But
If you play
do what
Magic
you
the
love.
Gathering, by the way, throw it in the chat and we're going to connect you with Kevin because he's built a team that is ranked in the world. He's in the top
8.
Yeah, 8. And
Yeah.
he's got other people. Okay.
But do what you love. Outside of work, do what you love so that you have the energy to show up at work and not be like, gosh, why do I just live to work and work to live and live to work? Like, that's torturous. Don't do it to yourself. And it's easy to fall into that if you are a scroller.
Okay, for the
Just
people
saying.
for the people in the back, what does fitness and yoga and healthy eating and supplements, what does that do for your business performance? For the because they're hearing it every week from me on these calls. But
Oh yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where I actually don't realize how much it's doing until I don't have it. Like if I'll like forget to pack my supplements on a vacation and I'm
you
like,
packed them this time, didn't
yeah,
you?
of course. Always. Always now that I know the difference. But I mean, I'm not taking like a crazy amount of supplements. I just take like my multivitamin. I take krill oil. I take some like natural things for my ADHD because I don't really care for like stimulant medication, which I was on when I was much younger, and it just wasn't a good match for me. So I like to get my endorphins naturally, and just take care of my body and keep my mind sharp because our bodies are a temple. God gives us one, and I appreciate the help that I have, and so I don't want to take that for granted. And it helps me show up and be a better leader and a better friend. I don't want to be moody or tired or off, which is what happens when I stop taking care of myself, because subconsciously I'm telling myself I'm not worth it, or I didn't do that thing I said I was going to do. And it's so important to do the things that you know that you should do and stick to the things that you say that you're going to do. Otherwise, subconsciously, you are going to, it's very easy to fall into a pattern of giving up on yourself. It's much harder to make a habit of showing up for yourself, but once you're there, you don't want to lose it.
And you're
'Cause it's
cheating
so hard to get
away.
back.
You're cheating away at your self-image.
Yeah, totally. And I think a lot of that came from sports. I'm very fortunate to have grown up, in a world of sports where dedication was a must. I don't know that I would have that drilled into my brain if it wasn't by a coach at a young age, but I know that I'm a better me when I'm showing up.
How are you ensuring quality time with the fur babies and Kev?
We look at our calendar a few weeks ahead, and any time that I don't have an evening commitment, he doesn't have an evening commitment, we just block it and call it date night. And then when it comes up, we're like, what do we want to do? Do we want to stay in? Do we want to go out? And a lot of the times that involves the fur babies. I also, I have a little gap in my morning right after I work out. I have a little gap before I go into work, or I have a gap before I work out if I do a later class, where I will read my Kindle with my cats on my lap. And it's just like our quality time, and hang out with the little Lou, and then he sleeps with us. So.
Okay, travel. I think I got a little jealous when I realized that it is literally every 90 days that you're doing it, and in some cases a month or two. Like, how can you do that with 3 businesses? How do you prioritize it, and how do things not fall apart? Because I think there's folks that are your age on this call. So for anybody that doesn't know, you're 30. How do you prioritize and you balance between, oh, I'm going to lose the money that I could have made, and oh man, that's going to cost me X amount? I
just know I'm going to have to work twice as hard to earn that trip. I'm not necessarily walking away from the work, I'm stacking it. And that's not something that I actually have to do anymore. Before, when I first started traveling, that was absolutely a must. I didn't have somebody that was working for me. The spa was closed if I was traveling. But now I fortunately can make my own schedule. So I'll just stack my clients to the start and the end of my day, and I'll have some pretty grueling days, but I'm like, oh, you're about to be on the beach, just hustle through. And my clients are so happy for me. They know how hard I work. But what I'll do is I'll very strategically block. If the wedding season's getting pretty full, I will, or, even personal weddings we're attending or family vacations or whatever. If I see an opportunity, like a 10-day span where I don't have a commitment, I'll block it 6 or 7 months ahead of time. And I'm essentially manifesting that I will be going on a trip. And that's what I did for Costa Rica. Like I knew that I was taking a trip in November. I actually told Kevin, I was like, gosh, I'd love to go to Costa Rica. prayed about it a little bit. A month later, his friend called us and said, hey, I'm house sitting my parents' place in Costa Rica. Do you guys want to come out? And I was like, yeah. And then in addition to that, I have
That's a thank you, Lord.
Yeah, Southwest Airlines card, which considering switching to Chase Sapphire or Capital One. And then I also have a Marriott Bonvoy card. But I do really want to experiment with those points that you can convert to any points, like hotel, airline, whatever, because I'm not just flying Southwest anymore. That really helps me travel. That's my hack. I use points for my flights, points for my hotels. And then I just love to find people that'll go with me and cut my costs in half. So that's how I'm always doing it on budget, always buying cruises on Black Friday. Like I'm pretty wizardrous with my travel.
Don't you, like when you get back, you almost always have the next one planned, or because you're back, it's like,
I always have 2 planned.
Okay.
Yeah, like in Costa Rica, I'll be planning the next one. In fact, I already know what cruise I want to go on. Just trying to get Kevin to say yes, but having something to look forward to really helps me work, because it's like I'm just having so much fun working, because I know that I'm working for something. I love having something to look forward to, because if I don't,
what you do with what you want.
Yeah.
Attach what you do
I
with
seriously
what you want.
will be at work, like thinking about the fact that one day I'm going to have a beach house, or that one day I'm going to open up Radiate Charleston. I can see it in my head. It looks like it's actually from Italy. Yeah. Anyway, always thinking about what you
Tuscan
want.
vibe. Ooh, you got tears in your eyes.
I know. I really want it.
She got tears in her eyes. That's another one. If you talk about something, if you don't have something that you talk about that makes your lower lip quiver or brings tears to your eyes, then you need to, like kind of one of those little.
Yeah, that's right.
Then you need to search more to find that. So what is it that you stand for? What is it? Who is it that you love? What is it that you love to do? What are those goals? So
it could be within your same field. You might just have to dig for a deeper why.
So what's your why?
Well, I already talked about that a little bit. Just making people feel beautiful and confident has always been my why.
Why?
Because they deserve it, and not enough people know it, especially women. And I needed oh God, he's gonna do that thing where he digs and digs. Yeah, my brain is straight chaos, and it's taking years to wrangle. And so I needed a safe space. Personally, I desperately needed like a space that I could escape to. It's like, gosh, where I just feel like I'm gonna explode. I need somewhere to go, and that's what I get to be for people. And then the weddings is a little different. That's just, I want them to feel authentically like themselves. So many hair and makeup artists turn them into something they're not. I like to really exaggerate their best features and stuff. So kind of separate whys.
Yeah.
For the different businesses.
By the way, we're going to close with a couple action steps, but one of my favorite upsells that she did is when she was doing, so when she worked at, we won't say what was the name of the place, but it was a massage and facial place. And there were products that they were using that she didn't agree with in terms of healthy and that sort of thing. And that was one combination. And then secondly, there were so many people doing wedding makeup with crappy makeup that wasn't natural, it wasn't organic, wasn't good for their face. And then they were basically taking the palette, of the artist, and they were just covering all of the dirty skin, the bad skin. You'd say it a lot better than me. But I love it when you book somebody in advance and she gets 50% down for 50% down. When you book somebody for
the wedding,
yeah,
for 40%.
Yeah, so for like a year out or 9 months out or whatever, she'll get her 40%, and she takes that and that reserves the date. But the other thing that she did, and she told me about this one, she's just like, now what a lot of the brides want to do is they want their face to be in the best shape that they've ever had. And so what we recommend is doing a monthly facial or quarterly facial.
So basically I would see my brides. I'd be like, love you. Never see them again. They look beautiful. I cry when they their first look with their dad. And then like, I would never see them again. And then the bane of my existence would be like essentially like a textured canvas for a painter is somebody who struggles with acne and feels like they're not beautiful without their makeup on. And so I thought, what if I can fix that and make them feel beautiful without any of this makeup? Because they don't need it. They want it. And
by the way, you pivot them to your
So now on the phone call where I'm selling the bride for the wedding, hey, let's get your intro facial scheduled. Okay, here's where we're at. Here's where we want to be. I recommend a series of facials over the next 6 to 9 months. And so I'm taking a bride that would be a, $3,000-4,000 wedding, and I'm making $7,000 off her that year. And it's money
And
that
it's the
she's literally happy to
and it's
spend
the- and it's the right-
and changes her life because she was just blowing money on products that weren't working, going to the dermatologist every other month, trying to figure it out. And I get to the root of it because I'm a holistic esthetician. So I fix the problem typically within their gut or whatever.
Yeah.
Not a doctor, but
She plays well on TV. Okay. We are at 6:47. So just a couple, what would be some action steps that you'd recommend? And I know you've touched on, but let's just kind of like bullet them for the end for salespeople that are looking to balance their business growth with their personal life and maybe even travel. So salespeople, business owners, just balancing business, family, health, travel. If you were going to just say, we'll go back over a couple, there's not
be intentional, block time ahead of time. That way you don't have an excuse that it doesn't work out because you have somewhere to be or something to do. Block it ahead of time, be strategic on Cyber Monday, Black Friday, whatever. When you're at work, give it your absolute everything because you're looking forward to what's coming up. And then as far as balance goes, don't stop doing what you love outside of work and get off your phone, get outside and move your body.
We can end with that unless anybody's got, and thanks. Yeah, just saw that, Pete. Thanks for joining, Amanda. There was about 9 others beside the 7 that we could see. So I think we're around 16, 17. Any closing comments? I know, Jeff, you remember meeting Mikaela way back in the day. Any closing comments, questions, or thoughts? Anything really kind of hit home for you as well for anybody?
So even though I've not really been around you too much, I've kind of seen and heard you grow up through the years because RJ and I have known each other before you were born, long before that. But it's really a blessing to see your maturity and your willingness to give God the credit, which is that's what I'm sensing from it. And that's huge. So
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Thanks, Jeff.
Sure.
Anybody else?
I'd say ditto to what Jeff said, but question for you: what are the 4th and 5th businesses coming down the pike?
So I'm really thinking
bring them
about franchising out the Radiates. I want to do it somewhere local first, and then I want to do it somewhere in Charleston. And then I also would really consider having a wedding venue one day, not just a bridal suite, but a venue. I know the ins and outs of how weddings work. I know the vendors that I want to work with. I'm really into passive income. And then I also have Radiate Lofts, which we haven't talked about really, but I rent that out. So inside of Radiate Lofts, which is technically the 3rd business, is the Radiant Loft, which is the bridal suite, which is what you mentioned. But Radiate Lofts is actually a series of rooms that I rent out to massage therapists, nail tech, and that passive income has been really cool. So I would really like to expand that concept.
And that pays your rent.
Oh yeah, more than pays the rent. So then everything I do in there is free.
Thanks, Kyle.
Cut the diabetes too.
I know a couple others jumped on at the end, maybe were on and then had to hop off and hop back on. Any last thoughts? We might be able to give you back a few extra minutes here. Any last thoughts or questions? And I can't see the chat, so I'm assuming there's nothing there for that. All right, well, this is a good spot to wrap up then. We will thank you, Kyle. And thanks everybody for jumping in. And really, I want to say congrats to you for investing in yourself and your time.